Hi, I'm Clyde, and welcome to Basic Works. And at your mobile home, what's in your shed? This shed is 8 foot across by 10 foot long. That gives you a fair amount of storage area and the ability to get your workbench and some other zones in your shed. What we did in laying out the shed was try to create zones, sort of like sections, so that you can fit a lot of function into your shed. If you do some good planning in the beginning of these areas or zones, it's going to help you get your shed to the point where it's much more functional. So one of the first things that I did when we got this shed was go through the electric and change it from a light switch that just had one light bulb on it to enough lighting and enough power in the shed before I even started putting the zones in to lay out the painting and everything else. That way you can see out here when it's dark in the evenings and you're trying to get in your shed to do a project or to get something out of storage, whatever you need to do. So while you're doing your electric and you get your lights and everything put in place, make sure you have plenty of receptacles at your workbench. The walls of the shed are OSB, which is that oriented strand board. And you'll see a lot of stuff online about, oh, you can't really paint that and all that. You can paint this stuff. It's not bad at all. It'll cover it. And you're realizing, it's a shed. But this painted looks a hell of a lot better than this just raw. So we painted up to here because we wanted to get our shelves and everything in. We don't know if we're going to eventually come back and paint the ceiling or not. That won't be until springtime when it's nice and warm out here. But we purchased this paint and primer as one. First coat covered fairly well, but the second coat just finished it off. It looks fine now, especially it's a shed wall, but it makes a nice color. So, and it's a little bit reflective, so it doesn't eat up your light and everything. But overall, that worked out great. One thing you're going to want to have in your shed is your toolbox, because you're going to need your tools to work on all the projects you run into. Of course, being in the mobile home, you're not going to have, a basement or a garage, something like that. So you put your workbench in your shed. At the workbench, I have my charger set up for my drills because I have a shelf built down underneath here that I put in lower than the bench. So I can set my tools like the drill here and they're handy, but yet they're off the bench. In between the shed 2x4s, which are the walls, I put these shelves. They're handy for storage. They keep stuff close by. So when you're working here, this helps, along with the toolbox being this close. I also put this drawer unit, which I can store an assortment of hardware. That's this whole section. So if you were looking at your shed in zones or sections, from this section of the workbench here, going around the workbench this way to the toolbox. This section contains the workbench area where you're going to do your projects and stuff. Right beside the edge of the workbench is where we have organized our golfing equipment. And if you look at that, it has storage down here at the bottom where you can put golf balls and stuff down here. This unit is built to hold 2 golf bags like this. And this is a manufactured unit from Gladiator. And they make it like this so you can organize all of your golf stuff in one place. So we purchased this. And this unit was like, $130 or something. Not bad. It's perfect for organizing the golf equipment. Now we move from the golfing section to the gardening section. And you can see this has the hedge trimmers, all of your shovels, rakes, stuff like that, gardening table where we could do some flower potting or whatever, and then storage shelves down below. And this is another single unit that we purchased by itself. And we also put shelves above it, in between these wall joists here, to store gardening stuff. Here on this side of the shed, we have our storage zone. And we have 2 4-foot shelves. Each one of these shelves, you can see, allows 3 rows of boxes to be stored. And each one of these has 3 of these large boxes on it. So there is a large amount of storage that we have here in the number of boxes that we can store. So you can tell this thing is 8 feet long. There's a lot of storage here. There's plenty of room to store boxes. So depending on what you're going to store in your mobile home or in the shed will determine what zones you want. Your zones won't necessarily match my zones exactly, but this will give you the idea of creating different zones for different things you want to use in your shed. So hopefully this video helped you out with organizing your shed. And if it did, hit that like and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.